All right, Kyle, so let's take a look at your essay and see if I can give you some good feedback here. Send us your blank blank dot dot dot. Throughout the world, immigration has been the center of many debates and at times conflicts. There are many diasporas that flee their homelands for foreign nations in attempts to make a better life. Whether it be for economic means or due to their lives being put in danger, many individuals take the risk to come to the United States of America specifically. Unfortunately, public acceptance of these said people has dwindled into certain audiences. They have become the reason for all our nation's troubles. In part, this is due to the preconceived notions and group thought. You want a semicolon, by the way. Moreover, comma, it is due to the media and its coverage of immigrants. Negative stereotypes and prejudices of immigrants, legal and illegal, have led to a standstill on comprehensive policy. It is imperative to change the way in which immigrants are portrayed and spoken about. Public opinion is what controls legislation. You want a semicolon there, by the way. If the public continues, you don't want a semicolon here, to argue about just how to treat these people, let alone, you want a comma here, let alone address them, comma, how can we expect the government to act appropriately to protect and defend them? With respect to the narrative portrayed in the media, immigrants are characterized in two main ways. I'm wondering what the two main ways are. It hasn't always been this way in the United States, but if immigrants continue to be treated like merit or a plague, then our nation, then our nation will face economic decline and social unrest. So I'm not sure what you mean by merit. You may want to clear that up. And then the other thing I was thinking too, when you have it characterized in two main ways, you could put a colon and then maybe identify the two main ways. I think so. I like how the flow of your essay is going at this point, right? It's kind of getting momentum, it's culminating, and then when you say immigrants are being characterized in two main ways, I think if you did a colon and then you put the two main ways, like you list them like this, and this. Then you put a period. Then you have your final sentence, which is the thesis statement, right? Something like this right here. The sentence, although this was still I'm not sure it's your best thesis statement you could come up with. So I think you may want to fix that. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a couple things in the next sentence here. You're doing the evidence, which I think is good. You want this period to go outside of this. Same thing here, period outside of this. And so if I see Maryland Toleration Act and Everstein, I should go down to your works cited page and see in alphabetical order, right? I see Everstein, and I see the Maryland Toleration Act. So very good. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so keeping up in your some of the things here. You say desirables and undesirables. By the way, you want the comma inside the quotes there. I think it's a really compelling term that you're using. I'm trying to find out where you found that from. Because I know I've heard reference to this. So if this is a direct quote from something, maybe right. Actually, really what you do, if you want to be completely correct, is right after undesirables, before the comma, in parentheses, you'd put the source, the author's last name, if there is one, or the title of where you found it. So I just thought I'd bring it up too, because I like this terminology that you're using. I'd like to know where it came from. All right, so just keeping reading through this. And I notice you're referencing the media quite a bit. And I'm wondering why, well, you do mention it in the introduction, that the media is covering that. Maybe, I don't know. I just thought that you definitely want to make sure that you are pointing this out in the introduction, the significant impact that media has on this topic. Another comment here. I think this could be a new paragraph because really you're kind of starting a new thought. And this paragraph seems to get a little long. So on a national level. Could be a new paragraph. Okay, again, just looking through this, I would probably put a new paragraph here, one such proposition, because it's kind of starting a new thought. Okay, so keep going. All right, so having finished it here, I mean, you do a very good job researching and that, but I'm still trying to figure out like how your thesis, how does it relate to everything that you're doing? I think that's maybe what's missing in your essay, even though it's got a lot of wonderful research too. I don't know like if there's a kind of a passion or energy that's tying everything in together. And I don't want it to be superficial, but there should be something compelling, some kind of point to what you're trying to do. And it needs to be clear. I mean, really what you're suggesting is, if we go back up to your introduction and thesis, it is imperative to change the way in which immigrants are portrayed, right? I know. So I think that's kind of the point of this thesis statement you want here is what's the focus? What are you going to try to kind of repeat throughout the essay? I mean, you're saying it wasn't always been the case, but if immigrants continue to be treated like this, we're faced with economic decline and social unrest. So these things, economic decline, social unrest, should be mentioned in the body paragraph. And I don't think they ever are, at least explicitly. So you may need to make a better point of either including these points in your thesis statement in the rest of the essay, or change your thesis statement to reflect what's here. And I mean, I think you have great arguments here. I don't ever see your story to this. Not necessarily that I want you to make a big deal of it, but like at least in the introduction or conclusion, make a point of why you think we should ally up with these. I mean, you kind of do that, but it could probably be done a little bit better. I mean, a little motion is good, I think, in an essay, especially a long research paper. I don't want it to take away from the facts and research because that is the primary focus. This is not a personal narrative. But by having all of those facts and statistics, along with a kind of a compelling point and even maybe a personal, message, I think will help your essay be really, really good. I mean, it's a good essay. I'm just being honest here. Although these paragraphs kind of get a little long, right? Like I think there's this one, maybe, like they just could be cut. I think a little bit. So, not that I count paragraphs, but just when you know that you're kind of getting a little long, you can find your next thought and then just start a new paragraph. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. So I'm trying to think of anything else to come up with. Just keep reviewing it, right? Make sure everything works, like works cited and in-text citations should all match. I think you have it in alphabetical order, which is great, and it looks fine. So that's all good. If you could get rid of this, looks like there's a gray background on some of this, you could probably get rid of that just to help the aesthetics of it. Okay, so those are some comments. Like I say, I think it's maybe stronger, clearer thesis to help bind everything with a good point and message to it will help your essay be really good. I love the research that you've done to it. I think it's adequate. You just want to keep maybe adding a little bit more personal touch to it. A story maybe you've heard or seen or experienced yourself. I don't know, just a little bit of that I think will help your essay have a nice kind of feel and touch to it. Okay, all right, long enough. If you have any other questions, though, let me know.